Hey everybody, my name is Robert Trusardi. I am the creator of Blockchain Kingdoms. It is a platform where you get paid to play video games in digital currency and cash. It was inspired by my very long string of strange careers. I've made movies. If you go look up a movie called The Terminators or My Boyfriend is a Zombie Stoner, you'll see my name on there. It's Bobby K. Richardson's my stepfather's name. And Trusardi is my brand name. It's something I want to create a name for myself and create a brand for Blockchain Kingdoms. So a little bit more about what inspired me to create Blockchain Kingdoms was I've always known as possible to allow video gamers to play video games as a full-time job, and not just any game. I didn't want, I'm a gamer myself, and I don't want to sit in a video game and feel like I'm farming all day long. I'm sure many of you don't either, and I also don't like a lot of the video game models we see how coming out lately, like pay to win and fear of missing out. They call it FOMO, essentially. Do something now or pay money now so you don't miss out later. I'm not a fan of those things. So I wanted to create something that was very simple. You log in, you pick up a job from a job board, and you earn money like 4 hours later. It might seem like a pretty big challenge to create something like that. So when I originally started thinking of pursuing this seriously, I looked at what Elon Musk was doing with SpaceX. And if you look at SpaceX, they want to colonize Mars. And Elon Musk and his engineers, they came up with two things that were a necessity, a requirement for them to colonize Mars. The first thing was they needed to get heavy payloads into space. So they needed to carry heavier materials from Earth into space. And the second thing they needed reusable rockets, because most of the rockets blow up in atmosphere, or all rockets blow up in atmosphere, and that is most of the cost of getting objects into space is the rockets, and the rocket fuel is less than 1% of the rocket cost. So if they could do those two things, they could make it possible to colonize Mars. And it took them a long time, a lot of money, but they finally were able to build those two things. They put two NASA astronauts into space from American soil this year. So when I was building this, I was looking at, what were my two things? If I needed two requirements in order to make it so that video gamers could make money full-time playing video games, what were the two requirements? So the first requirement that I realized, it was that we needed to create market demand for video gamers playing video games. And your favorite video games. I don't want to be tied down to just one video game. I want to be able to play whatever video game I want and be able to make money from doing that. So the second requirement was you need to get market growth to rival the Forex market, which is a $4 trillion futures market, and the stock market, which is $34 trillion in the U.S. stock exchange. If you just look at how much money would be required in order to pay those video gamers. There are 164 million adult video gamers in the United States, and if you're paying all of them on average a $40,000 salary, that is like $6.5 trillion. So not all that money is going to sit in one place, but it'll be liquid. It'll move around. Business owners will be paying players, and players will be playing, and the game developers will be earning something. Blockchain Kingdoms will be earning something. But how do we make it simple so that gamers can go ahead, play this as a free service, so they don't have to pay anything, because they're workers. They're going out and they're playing, working, and they're earning. So how do we do those two things? How do we create market demand for video gamers, and how do we create a market growth to rival the Forex market and stock market between $4 to $34 trillion? And that's going to come in the business opportunities that we create. So the reason I'm talking about these things, what led to creating it, the requirements, why it's going to take $4 to $34 trillion in the market economy of Blockchain Kingdoms to make all this possible, is because when I show you the prototype I'm going to show you the prototype right now, and that will be available for you to look at before the Kickstarter launches. I want you to look for those things. I want you to kind of look for like, well, how could it scale that high? Because that's how the system is designed. It is designed to scale to deliver on these requirements and on these promises. So as I show you the prototype, I want you to kind of look for those things, and yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead, jump into it, and get started. So let's see. So here we go, Blockchain Kingdoms. So this is the prototype. It is an interactive mode where you can actually click around and see how the systems work. So the first I'm going to show you is how it works for video gamers. It's also designed for entrepreneurs and investors, people who want to create businesses and invest. Could create a, somewhere between $4 to $34 trillion market. It's going to require businesses to be involved, and eventually major businesses in the trillions of dollars. So this is what the job board looks like. On here, you'll have various jobs, and the free play. Maybe some jobs will require you to play a certain game. Maybe some jobs will just allow you to play any game. And you'll be able to just click, and here we go. Here's job information. It'll tell you what items are being loaned to you. This is very important because it's part of the economy and how it works. I'll show you that later. But essentially here in this job information, what we're looking at is it's telling us we can play this game, Crypto Castles, and Coolcat Games, which is a business, will loan us these 3 items. These 3 items here are called power cores. They're very important to know, and I'll talk about that more later. And it says here that Coolcat Games will pay us $11.44 per a power coin. And this little symbol here is for a power coin. So we play this game, and we're going to collect coins while we play it, and those coins will be automatically sent to Coolcat Games, who will pay us for those coins that we collected. All right, so I'm going to hit accept and play. This is telling us a little bit of what's going to happen here, and I'll explain that to you. So here is kind of just like a quick setup screen. We are in what's called the coin pool is elite. Coin pools are important because they're how we allow you to play any video game you want with these coin pools. Right now we have 2 coin pools planned. One is common, where you will be loaned 1 power core, and the elite pool is where you get 3 power cores from a job creator. And so you can imagine the difference in income and skill is about 3 times. So this is the elite pool. So when I click on this little icon here, which is the power core, it's going to take that power core from Coolcat Games. It's going to put it into one of my character slots. So over here, I have a character modifier, I have accessory modifier, and a tertiary modifier. So these power cores, as I click them and I slot them into my my gameplay session, my character here, it's going to modify certain things. So here it's going to modify the character stuff by 53%. And it's also going to give a bonus point modifier. The modifier is important because that'll largely determine the coin payout. So this is how businesses can actually consider how much money they're going to make, how much their power cores are worth, because the power cores largely determine the coin payout, right? And I'll show you how power cores level up over time. They're actually leveled up through the currency that you win. So, so I'm going to click on the 52 here, and that's going to get slotted into the accessory modifier. And what you'll see there is that the character has certain items and modifications like abilities that are going to get augmented by this power core. And the same thing, this character's accessories will get modified by the power core. You can see there are different statistics here for both just the modifier and the bonus point modifiers. So these power cores are actually modifying different things. So cool, so I'm going to go ahead and launch the game. It's going to run just a simulation. When you play the prototype, there's actually no gameplay. You can kind of look at the economic systems as the gameplay. So we can hit launch game, and it's going to run a simulation, pretend we're playing for about 4 hours. This is the video game I created called Immortal Souls. And here we are at the job accomplished screen. So it says total job time, 4 hours. It was simulated for the prototype. And we'll say we gathered about 15.42 power coins during our session. So during our 4 hours of play time, this is how many power coins we generated. Now those power coins are actually sent back to the job creator. And so are the power cores that were loaned to us from the job creator. And the job creator's account has automatically paid us for the power coins that we collected. So the payout was $11.44 per power coin. So the gamer here, me, earned $176.40. So these numbers are created to give an example of what this looks like possibly 4 to 8 years from now. We don't expect these numbers to be this high when the game launches. You might be only making a couple of cents in the first couple of launch days per a payout. But even if you play all day and you're only making say 10, 20 cents at launch, but then a month or two later you're making like 50 cents per an hour or something, that's going to be pretty good. So again, it's designed to scale. So as more money comes into the system, as the power cores raise, as more gamers are in the system, all the payouts and all the stuff will scale up. So just like Bitcoin started out at basically like cents per Bitcoin, and now it's like $9,000 per Bitcoin. This is going to be very similar. It's eventually just going to scale up to that level, to to wherever the market's at. So we received this money. Coolgat Games was able to rate us. You can sort of put in these auto ratings. If you earn what is above par for those power cores in that game, your skill rating can go up. So this is part of how gamers will get matched, is through the job ratings. So here's more of the prototypes. It's given us more information. Now, how does all this work? How is it that we have these coins and they're worth money? It's because of a thing I've invented called the virtual supply chain. Now here's a visual example of the virtual supply chain. The virtual supply chain is made of 3 components. One is the power seed, the other is the power coin, and the last is the power core, which you saw me slot into the character. Now power seeds are scarcity based. They're actually only created as they are purchased in what we call investment packages. And they create these things called power coins every week. So every week, one of these seeds creates a power coin, and those power coins are what level up. They also create the power cores, and I'll show you that later, how a coin can be turned into a power core. And here you see the coins going into the power core, and it levels up. And they can be leveled up infinitely. Now, to actually level up a power core is free, so it'll be on a decentralized platform. It may cost a small amount of what's called a gas. If you're familiar with Ethereum, if you want to run applications on Ethereum, it sometimes costs just like a small amount of gas, and that just goes into the platform. We don't, we will not make money off that. I'll share how we make money off Blockchain Kingdoms later. My particular, Blockchain Kingdom is the platform, how it makes money. So, seeing that, how do these seeds then get into the games? Let me go ahead and show you here sort of what it looks like. So, as these seeds are purchased in investor packages, the investor is actually putting seeds into the various coin pools that are in Blockchain Kingdoms. And as video gamers play the games, those coins then go back to the video gamers. And those coins can be used to upgrade the power cores. And the power cores, again, are a very important way that we divide up the rewards of coins. If you don't have a power core, and the majority of the market has, like, let's say an average of like level 53 power coins, you're not going to be earning very many coins as a new player. So you will be dependent on, if you want to make money and make coins, you will have to find jobs that will allow you to use cores and pay you for earning currency. So for seed packages, they are actually at a fixed price. As they're created, they actually go up. For new ones to be purchased, they go up in price. So this is kind of a graph that shows you the token supply as it goes up. so do their fixed price to buy new ones. So they will have their own speculative value kind of attached, but to actually just create new ones, they are at a fixed price that rises over time. So in the long term, the investors who buy those packages, they are making payouts based on those investments. So it allows us to simultaneously seed our games with coins, and then also allow investors to get a kickback later and watch the demand for everything go up. It's really a system that is designed to scale with the demand for the coins and the cores and the seeds. Now, how people make money from selling these currencies, these coins and the cores, is really based up to market demand. Here's an example of a job creator, and she's considering, well, what do I do with my coins now? I can sell them on the market for profit, and maybe I can take some of them and I can level up my power cores. Imagine most job creators will balance something like this. They'll balance out between selling their coins for profit and then using them to upgrade their power cores. It's really not like other businesses where you take home some profit and then you use your profit to reinvest, so you can make future profits in the long term. For the business owners, if you're someone who's like, I've always wanted to own like a business, but right now might not be a great time for brick and mortars because Amazon's taking everything over. So we actually have some options for people to build businesses. So back inside the prototype here, we have an example of the market screen where you can see the coins and the seeds and what they're being sold at, power cores. So I'm going to show you how a power core is created, leveled up, and then put into the job system to create jobs for gamers. So here we're going to click here, and we're going to buy a coin at the simulated market price. And so at a simulated market price of $34.32, came out to $102.96. Again, this is just simulated prices. These prices are pretty much what it would eventually be 4 to 8 years or farther down the line for blockchain kingdoms. So now we're going to go into the assets screen and manage our assets. We're going to create a power core. So we bought 3 coins. So we're going to create 1 power core. So it's going to cost us 1 coin. And bam, there we go. We have created a level 1 power core by using a coin, again, as a free service. So now we're going to continue. And we now have this, this power core here. And we can go ahead and we can upgrade it. So let's go click over to upgrade. And now we can upgrade our power core from level 1 to level 2. And this is going to increase its bonus point modifier for collecting coins, and also whatever modifiers that game may gain from the level bonus. And it's going to cost us 2 coins in order to level this up. So there's going to be a total of 3 coins that will be held inside of this power core. The power core can be destroyed and those coins can be recollected. It's something you might not want to do if you're just using your cores for jobs, but we do want to have video games where you can actually use cores for as part of competition. So maybe you're playing with like level 2 or 3 cores and it's a little risky, but you can play against other players, and if they die then you get their coins. It's one of the games that we want to have longer down the line. Just something to throw out there. So now our core has gone up in just a simulated 305% value. That is essentially the 3 coins at market value plus a premium for it being leveled up. And you can only level up these power cores so often. We're probably going to integrate a system where you can level them up to level 10 for just as many, as fast as you want. But then once it hits level 10, well then maybe you can only level it up, say, like twice a week. And then after level 30, maybe you can only level it up once a week. And we want to make it so that someone cannot just jump into the market, buy coins, upgrade them, and just essentially dominate the market. So we're putting that in so people can't dominate the market. They actually rely on other people who have been harvesting and growing these power cores to keep a healthy market. All right, so I'm going to confirm this. And so it's just telling us that you can destroy the core. And this is a prototype, so it's kind of stepping us through what's going on. So now what the prototype has done is it's gone ahead and purchased a level 53 power core from the market. And in this simulation, a level 53 power core has a dollar value of $135,000.241. Now, how does it get that value? This is simulated based on the market demand for this power core. Since the power core in level 53 power core, in this case, is probably a fairly above average power core. So it's worth more. It'll help people collect more virtual currencies. It'll help them be more competitive in the video games that they play. Maybe some of them PvP. Maybe some of them are just just like story games. Yes, you can use our system with story games, and it's part of why the level of a core is so important. So I'm going to go into job settings. And this is again simulated how the job settings work. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to set it into common pool. Again, the common pools are planned to only use one power core. Risk versus reward. So if you're only using common pool and you're only using one power core, risk is a little bit less, so the payout will be a little bit less. But if you're someone who just wants to play Animal Crossing and you don't want to have to worry about really high stress video game stuff, you can do this. And the plan is 4 to 8 years from now, that actually be if you're only playing common pool games, it allows you to earn what is going to be a living wage, while meantime maybe people who are playing elite pools and they're cooperating with other gamers and they're using 3 of these power cores. Risk reward, performance-based stuff, that will probably pay them out maybe $100,000 or more. This is all it is all kind of made up at the moment. I'm not going to hide that fact, but again, we are designing the system so we can test these things. Just like putting a rocket into space, you don't want to put a rocket into space without heavily robustly testing those things, because you don't want put a person in that rocket and have it blow up. Same thing, we don't want to put the system out and have it blow up on us. We want to robustly test these things, which is why we're sort of taking our time with building this out. Not to say that we're resting on our laurels. We do want to get out as fast as possible, but we don't want to put out a failed system. We want to put out a system that is essentially going to get this system into space. All right. So going back to the common pool, and we're going to go ahead and confirm our settings. Now, actually, let's look at the settings really quickly. So we've said we've put this as a free play. Our business name is like Cool Cat Games, and we've kind of set a setting for who can play this, who can take up this job, and someone like with a skill rating of 1,241. Is this reoccurring? Yes, which means after someone finishes this job, the power core will go back onto the market, and then someone else will be able to take that job again and collect coins for you. You'll also be able to set these like in like job segments. So if you actually have a player that you want to use your core during a certain hour, just like you would a normal job, you can do that. You can slot gamers into time settings. It's going to get confirmed settings, and that will simulate putting the power core on the job market. And so now the power core will be on the job market. Someone will be able to pick it up. So we're going to again simulate 4 hours, fast forward through 4 hours, and now look at the history of this job. So now we've simulated someone taking that job up, and we're looking at our job history. And for this particular common pool core, we said the gamer collected 4.67 power coins. Now there was a game stake for the developer, so they take. We're not sure how much game developers will take on the back end, but here the game developer took 1% of those total coins. So out of the 4.67 coins that the gamer earned, 1% of those coins were sent to the game developer as a payment. So this is how we transform the market from video gamers paying game developers to play, so that now gamers get paid to play. Just flip that whole thing on its head. And how we do that is now because those game developers are earning like 1% of the digital currency that is earned by the gamer. Now, blockchain kingdoms will take much less than that, like 0.5%. Again, these numbers are not solid yet, but that that 0.5% goes to blockchain kingdoms, and that is part of how we'll make money off from video gamers. How we have a business is because we only take a fraction of those digital currencies. And you might think, well, that's funny. You're taking your own digital currency and giving it back to yourself. But I think it's really important to look at the digital currency, the virtual supply chain, as actually being owned by the investors and the business owners and the gamers. It's kind of like having a public gold mine, much like Bitcoin, that's out there, and everybody is accessing it. And we sort of become stewards by dispersing these currencies, but we do it in a very legitimate way. It'll all be SEC. SEC certified, so all of it will be open to audit, so that everyone will be able to see very transparently how we're distributing these rewards and where the power seeds are coming and where they're going. So as the game job creator here, we received a total of 4.60 coins, and we paid a gamer called Wintermute $53.42 for collecting those coins. Now, the cool thing is that then we sold those coins that he gave back to us actually for a profit. So yes, we paid Wintermute $53.42, but the amount of coins that he gathered, we actually paid him less than what they're worth market value. We can do that because we own the power cores. Those are things that are worth value. Those are things that gather those coins for us. So we have the leverage to say, okay, well, we're going to pay you less than what those coins are worth. And largely how much a gamer is going to be paid is going to be up to the market. Blockchain kingdoms, we actually want to create 30% of the jobs that are paying people in cash. So we want to be we want to have 30% of that job market. And that is actually where we expect to make the most of our money, is by hiring gamers to go collect the digital currency in those elite pools and common pools, and then we're going to sell back the currency that they gathered on a profit. We actually expect that to be where we make the most of our money. The 0.5% is just because we may not, just because it's our platform, it makes sense for us to do that, and we don't. And who knows? Maybe in the end we won't do that. I do want this platform to be as generous as possible. And we do want to essentially make sure that everybody gets a good deal for their risk versus reward. So this is very much just like a real job market. If you go and you take a job at any place, anywhere from a marketing firm or to investment firm or retail, working at a retail place, you take the least amount of reward because you're the worker. You show up every day and people have functions that you fulfill, duties that you fulfill, but you didn't come up with those duties. Someone else came up with those duties for you, and they paid for the business. They rented everything out. So it's very much like the job creators will be the business owners, and same thing with the investors on the platform. They're taking the most risk, so they have the most possibility for losses and rewards. But the gamers, they just get to log in. They just get to log in and play. They may be taking the least amount of risk, but it works in real life, where you can just show up at your job and you can get paid to show up into your job, or do your job well. And we want that to be very similar. This is the same thing, exactly the same thing. And we see a future where people may have trouble finding jobs. We're dealing with COVID right now. It is, if you're watching this video sometime in the future, it is July 18th, 2020. And it can be a little difficult to find work out there. Many places are shut down, especially like here in Los Angeles. And I think what we're dealing with COVID is only going to accelerate automation. And I also think a lot of people underestimate how many jobs we're going to be losing to artificial intelligence in the future, because now artificial intelligence can really think, and they can adapt patterns very similar to how humans adapt patterns and perform new jobs. So one of the reasons that we created this platform was because I see a future where it might be more difficult for people to find jobs. It might be more difficult to find extra income. So it seems, it seems totally logical for me to create something like this, where people can go and make side cash based on the risk versus reward on a platform. And we want to make it just as easy as a normal job. As long as you show up for that job and you work, you'll get paid something. All right, I think that is it for now. So we're going to be launching on Kickstarter very soon. So Kickstarter is a good platform for us because we want to see what the market interest is for this kind of thing. Do you guys want this? How many of you guys want it? And it'll allow us to go to build the basis of the platform. That's what Kickstarter is. You guys support us, and we're able to deliver on the Kickstarter. Kickstarter rewards that we promise you guys, and it will also help us go be more ambitious because we'll be able to go find financing from bigger places. So that is the plan. So thank you very much for watching this. I'm sure you still have more questions. Go ahead and join us on Discord at blockchainkingdoms.com. You usually see me hanging around there. Our community manager, Cithicent, is there, and we're happy to answer any questions. One of the most important things for me for this company is transparency, because I've seen just a lot of weird stuff out there with blockchain based stuff. I think one of the things I haven't mentioned at the end of this video right now is that you can actually take these tokens and you can trade them on the open market. So if you wanted to trade your power cores or your power coins or the seeds outside of our platform, you can do that. If you, say like Coinbase were carrying our currencies and our tokens as trades on their platform, you could actually trade these things outside our platform. And that is the reason that we chose blockchain for this, was because you can actually go and take these things and trade them outside of our market, which is very different from some other big games, like say EVE Online. EVE Online has a huge e-commerce. They have this stuff called ISK, but you're not allowed to sell ISK outside of the platform. And I've always thought that was a huge mistake in terms of being able to scale up and allow people to get paid for video games. It's like, no, we want you to be able to take this currency out onto the free market and find your own market opportunities. That is really like the mantra for our platform, is you want to continue to build new ways for video gamers and business owners to create new market opportunities for themselves. There's a saying that wealth is created against consensus, which means that if you're doing the same thing as everybody else, you're probably not going to find the greatest amount of wealth. So markets are constantly evolving. People are constantly finding new ways to evolve. And so this is what the platform's going to look in the near future, in the next like 4 to 8 years. But then, 4 and 8 years beyond that, we actually want to continue to evolve the platform. So one day it's just like Ready Player One, and you can go in, you have these virtual worlds you can create, and you can actually, build and sell weapons, magical armor, all this stuff. And just like that movie Ready Player One, it could be like that big and epic. But the most important thing for me was that we could actually cater to everybody. So the job creation, all that will be layered on top of it. So that way you're not in a video game being like, well, I hope my sword sells so I can make some money. It's like, no, you have the power cores, you're already set up, you're already playing, and whatever you sell for that sword is just going to be extra money on top of what you're already doing. So that is everything. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and reach out to us. There's a contact form on blockchainkingdoms.com, our Discord, and we'll be launching the Kickstarter in August. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Robert Trusardi, and you have a wonderful day.